हाय फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल एसआर एकेडमी हिंदी। तो अब तक के जो भी एसए प्रैक्टिस का वीडियो था मेरा, उसमें मैंने 2023 तक जितने भी एसए और निबंध के टॉपिक्स आए थे, उन टॉपिक्स पे बेस्ड मैं आप लोगों के लिए मॉडल निबंध लेके आता रहा हूँ। तो हमारा प्रीवियस ईयर का जितने भी टॉपिक्स थे, आइदर हिंदी और इंग्लिश, यानी एसए और निबंध के जितने भी प्रश्न अब तक आए थे, जितने भी टॉपिक आए थे, उस पे हमने मॉडल निबंध ऑलरेडी देख लिया है। अब इस बार का जो एग्जाम होने वाला है आपको आने वाले सैटरडे को, उसमें और भी क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक हो सकते हैं, कुछ और टॉपिक्स में मैं आप लोगों को निबंध या ऐसे करा देता हूँ। बाकी मेरे टेस्ट सीरीज को अगर आपने ज्वाइन किया होगा तो उसमें भी 6 टेस्ट सीरीज थे, तो 6 into 4 मतलब 24 इंग्लिश ऐसे और 24 हिंदी निबंध के टॉपिक आपके तैयार हो गए होंगे। जो टेस्ट सीरीज में जो टॉपिक्स आए थे वो भी इस साल की परीक्षा के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, और उसका सॉल्यूशन वीडियो मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल पे अवेलेबल है। एक दो वीडियो आने वाले समय में अवेलेबल हो जाएगा। तो चलिए आज की वीडियो में देख लेते हैं कि इन सब के अलावा अब तक मैंने जो करा दिया है और जो टेस्ट सीरीज के टॉपिक थे उसके अलावा और भी क्या इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स हो सकते हैं जो आपके आने वाले परीक्षा में पूछे जा सकते हैं। तो चलिए आज का वीडियो शुरू करते हैं, और अगर आप लोग चैनल पे नए हैं तो चैनल को जरूर से जरूर सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा। तो देख लेते हैं आज का कौन कौन सा टॉपिक होने वाला है आपका। पहला टॉपिक आपका है वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन। दूसरा टॉपिक है आपका इंडियाज रोल इन ग्लोबल पीस कीपिंग एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन। तीसरा टॉपिक है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट इन इंडिया, और चौथा टॉपिक है आपका यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। तो चलिए एक एक टॉपिक पे हम लोग देख लेते हैं कि कैसे हम लोग ऐसे लिख सकते हैं। अगर ये टॉपिक आ गया या इससे मिलता जुलता टॉपिक आ गया तो हम ऐसे किस तरह से फॉर्मेट कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से लिख सकते हैं, कौन कौन से पॉइंट हम उसमें इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं। तो सबसे पहला जो आपका टॉपिक है वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन। तो जब भी हम लोग ऐसे को स्टार्ट करेंगे तो किसी एक कोड के साथ स्टार्ट करेंगे। तो इसमें हमने कौन सा कोड यूज किया है? डेमोक्रेसी इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट इलेक्शन बट अबाउट एंश्योरिंग फेयरनेस एंड एफिशिएंसी इन गवर्नेंस। इस कोड के साथ मैंने स्टार्ट किया है, और ये आपका इंट्रोडक्शन है। तो देख लेते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन हम लोग कैसे लिखेंगे अगर इस टॉपिक पे आया तो। इंडिया द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी कंडक्ट्स इलेक्शंस एट मल्टीपल लेवल्स इंक्लूडिंग द लोकसभा, parliamentary elections, state assembly elections, and local body elections. These elections are often held at different times, leading to a continuous cycle of campaigning, polling, and governance disruptions. The idea of one nation, one election proposes that elections for the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies should be conducted simultaneously across the country. This concept aims to enhance governance efficiency, reduce election costs, and ensure policy continuity. However, while the idea has several advantages, it also comes with significant challenges that need to be addressed. तो ये आपका इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट हो गया। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में। नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ आपका है वन ऑफ द प्राइमरी बेनिफिट्स ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटिंग वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन इज द रिडक्शन इन इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस। Conducting elections frequently requires huge financial resources, including expenses on security, polling staff, and logistical arrangements. A single election cycle can significantly reduce these costs, allowing funds to be redirected towards development programs. Moreover, governance is often disrupted due to the Model Code of Conduct, which restricts governments from announcing new policies during elections. A synchronized election system would prevent frequent policy halts and enable governments to function without interruptions. तो ये आपका दूसरा पैराग्राफ हो गया। इसमें देखिए जो भी आपको इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स लगेगा उसको आप या तो ब्लैक पेन से लिखेंगे या फिर उसको अंडरलाइन कर देंगे। जैसे यहाँ पे इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस है तो इसको आप ऐसे अंडरलाइन कर दिया या फिर इसको ब्लैक पेन से लिख दिया। तो इस तरह से आप इसको हाईलाइट करते हुए चलेंगे, और आप चाहे अगर जहां भी जरूरत हो आप पॉइंट्स वगैरह बना लें, हेडिंग वगैरह बना लें, बट मैं रिकमेंड करूंगा कि एस्से को आप हमेशा पैराग्राफ में लिखें, और जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स है उसको या तो दूसरे ब्लैक पेन से लिख लें या फिर अंडरलाइन कर लें। अगले पैराग्राफ में चलते हैं। अनदर की एडवांटेज इज इंक्रीज्ड वोटर पार्टिसिपेशन। Since different states hold elections at different times, voter fatigue becomes a concern. A single well-planned election across the nation would encourage higher voter turnout as people would be more engaged in the process. Additionally, it would reduce political polarization caused by frequent elections, as political parties would focus on long-term policies rather than short-term populist measures to win immediate elections. Next paragraph. Despite these benefits, there are major challenges in implementing one nation, one election. The biggest hurdle is constitutional and legal amendments. Currently, the Election Commission of India conducts elections based on the tenure of governments. If simultaneous elections are to be held, amendments to the Constitution, Article 83, 85, 172 and 174 will be required. Furthermore, If a state government collapses before completing its term, it would create a vacuum until the next election cycle, which may weaken democratic representation. Next paragraph. Another challenge is logistical feasibility. Conducting elections for both the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies at the same time would require an enormous deployment of security forces, election officials, and voting infrastructure. India's vast and diverse geography makes this a difficult task. Additionally, political parties have different opinions on this issue. Regional parties fear that national issues may overshadow local concerns, reducing their influence in governance. Next paragraph. To implement one nation, one election successfully, a phased approach can be considered. Pilot projects in a few states, along with technological advancements like electronic voting system and online voter management, can help in smooth execution. A consensus among political parties is also essential to ensure fair representation. अब आते हैं कंक्लूजन पे, तो कंक्लूजन में हम लोग क्या लिखेंगे? In conclusion, one nation, one election is a progressive idea that can bring stability, efficiency, and economic benefits to India's electoral system. However, careful planning, legal amendments, and consensus building are necessary before such a system can be implemented. While challenges exist, the long-term advantages make it a concept worth exploring for the future of India's democracy. तो इस तरह हमने 500 वर्ड्स में फर्स्ट टॉपिक पे ऐसे कंप्लीट कर लिया है. तो अगर यही टॉपिक आपका एग्जाम में आ जाता है तो आप इस तरह से इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स को इंक्लूड करते हुए ऐसे लिख सकते हैं और एक अच्छा मार्क्स गेन कर सकते हैं एग्जाम में. अब चलते हैं, दूसरा टॉपिक क्या था? इंडियाज रोल इन ग्लोबल पीस कीपिंग एंड कन्फ्लिक्ट रिजोल्यूशन. तो इसमें हमने कौन सा कोट यूज किया है? पीस इज नॉट अचीव्ड बाय फोर्स बट थ्रू अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड डायलॉग. इसके बाद हम लोग इंट्रोडक्शन में क्या लिखेंगे? इंडिया एज द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी has always championed peace, stability, and non-violence on the global stage. With a strong tradition of diplomacy and international cooperation, India has played a crucial role in global peacekeeping and conflict resolution. From United Nations peacekeeping missions to mediating diplomatic crises, India's contribution to world peace reflects its commitment to fostering harmony and cooperation. In recent years, India has actively engaged in conflict resolution efforts, including its role in the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Palestine conflict, and stability efforts in Afghanistan and Myanmar. Next paragraph. Since its independence, India has been one of the largest contributors to UN peacekeeping missions. Indian forces have participated in over 50 UN peacekeeping operations, deploying more than 250,000 troops in conflict zones like Congo, Sudan, Lebanon, and the Golan Heights. Indian peacekeepers are known for their discipline, humanitarian efforts, and commitment to protecting civilians. These missions go beyond military operations, involving medical aid, education, rebuilding war-torn societies, and restoring governance structures. India has also provided women peacekeepers, promoting gender equality in peacekeeping forces. Next paragraph. Beyond UN missions, India has played a key role in diplomatic conflict resolution. It has historically mediated in global disputes such as the Korean War 1950s, Iran-Iraq conflicts 1980s, and Sri Lankan Civil War 2000. More recently, India has been actively engaged in the Russia-Ukraine war, advocating for peace through dialogue rather than military escalation. Unlike many Western nations that took sides, India maintained a neutral stance, urging both Russia and Ukraine to end hostilities through peaceful negotiations. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has repeatedly emphasized that this is not an era of war, promoting a diplomatic solution. India has also sent humanitarian aid, food supplies, and medicine to Ukraine, while ensuring its energy and trade relations with Russia remain intact. Next paragraph. Similarly, India has taken a balanced and diplomatic approach to the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. It has condemned acts of violence while calling for a peaceful two-state solution, highlighting the need for mutual coexistence. In Afghanistan, after the withdrawal of US forces and the rise of the Taliban, India has continued to provide humanitarian assistance, medical aid, and educational support, showing its commitment to regional stability. Next paragraph. However, despite its contributions, India faces challenges in its peacekeeping role. It lacks a permanent seat in the UN Security Council (UNSC), which limits its decision-making power in global security matters. Additionally, managing regional conflicts with China and Pakistan while contributing to international peace efforts remains a complex task. Ensuring the safety of Indian peacekeepers in conflict zones where they often face attacks from armed groups is another significant challenge. Next paragraph. To strengthen its global peacekeeping role, India must push for UNSC reform, enhance diplomatic ties with key global players, and increase its involvement in regional organizations like ASEAN, African Union, and BRICS. Leveraging technology in peacekeeping, such as advanced surveillance and cyber security, can further improve its effectiveness. अब आते हैं conclusion में. In conclusion, India's diplomatic, military, and humanitarian efforts in global peacekeeping and conflict resolution highlights its commitment to a stable and just world. Whether through UN missions, mediating international disputes, or advocating peaceful dialogue in global crises like the Russia-Ukraine war, India continues to emerge as a responsible and influential global power in promoting peace. तो इस तरह आपका 500 वर्ड्स में दूसरे टॉपिक पे भी ऐसे आपका कंप्लीट होता है. अब आते हैं तीसरे टॉपिक पे, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट इन इंडिया. तो इसके लिए हमने कौन सा कोड यूज किया है? डिजास्टर्स कैन नॉट बी अवॉइडेड बट देयर इंपैक्ट कैन बी रिड्यूस्ड थ्रू प्रिपेयर्डनेस एंड रेजिलियंस. आगे इंट्रोडक्शन में क्या लिखेंगे? Disaster management is an essential aspect of governance and public safety, particularly in a country like India, which is prone to natural and man-made disasters. With its diverse geography and climate, India frequently faces earthquakes, floods, cyclones, landslides, droughts, and industrial accidents. Effective disaster management is crucial to minimize loss of life, reduce economic damage, and ensure quick recovery. Over the years, India has taken significant steps to improve its disaster preparedness, but challenges remain in implementing a robust and efficient disaster response system. Next paragraph. India has a long history of devastating natural disasters. The 2001 Gujarat earthquake, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the 2013 Uttarakhand floods, and cyclone Amphan in 2020 are some examples of disasters that have caused widespread destruction. In response, the Indian government has developed a structured disaster management system. The Disaster Management Act 2005 led to formation of the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA), which plays a key role in formulating policies, training personnel, and coordinating disaster response. Next paragraph. One of the most effective strategies in disaster management is early warning system. India has made significant progress in developing satellite-based monitoring, weather forecasting, and mobile alert systems. The Indian Meteorological Department (IMD) provides real-time data on cyclone, storms, and weather changes, helping authorities and citizens take preventive measures. For example, during Cyclone Fani in 2019, timely warnings helped evacuate over 1 million people, reducing casualties significantly. Another crucial aspect is disaster preparedness and community involvement. The government has introduced awareness programs and mock drills in schools, offices, and public places. Initiatives like the National School Safety Program and community-based disaster risk management aim to educate people about emergency response and first aid. Stronger infrastructure planning is also needed to build earthquake-resistant buildings and better flood control systems to prevent severe damage. Next paragraph. Despite these efforts, several challenges persist in India's disaster management framework. One major issue is the lack of coordination between various government agencies and departments. Many times, response efforts are delayed due to bureaucratic inefficiencies. Another challenge is poor urban planning, which leads to greater damage in cities prone to floods and earthquakes. Encroachment on river banks, deforestation, and unregulated construction worsen the impact of disasters. Next paragraph. Funding and resource allocation also remain a concern. While India has a National Disaster Response Fund (NDRF), there is often a shortage of emergency equipment, medical supplies, and trained personnel, especially in rural areas. Many villages lack access to emergency shelters and healthcare facilities, making them vulnerable to natural calamities. Next paragraph. To strengthen disaster management, India needs to focus on technology-driven solutions, better urban planning, and community participation. Increased investment in satellite-based disaster prediction, artificial intelligence for risk assessment, and real-time communication networks can improve response efficiency. Public awareness campaigns, stricter building regulations, and faster emergency relief operations will also help in reducing disaster impacts. अब आते हैं conclusion पे. In conclusion, disaster management in India has evolved significantly, but there is still room for improvement. With better planning, advanced technology, and public cooperation, India can build a resilient disaster response system that safeguards lives and reduce economic losses. A proactive approach to disaster management is essential for the nation's long-term safety and development. तो इस तरह से 500 वर्ड्स में आपका थर्ड टॉपिक पे भी इससे फिनिश होता है। आपका फोर्थ टॉपिक था आज का यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। इसमें हमने कौन सा कोड यूज किया है? वन नेशन वन लॉ इज द फाउंडेशन ऑफ इक्वालिटी एंड जस्टिस। इसके आगे हम लोग इंट्रोडक्शन में लिखेंगे The Uniform Civil Code (UCC) is one of the most debated topics in India, as it aims to establish a common set of personal laws for all citizens regardless of their religion, caste, or community. Currently, India follows different personal laws based on religious practices in matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption. The implementation of UCC seeks to replace these diverse laws with a single legal framework, ensuring equality, justice, and national unity. While some believe that UCC is necessary for a progressive and secular society, others argue that it may interfere with religious customs and traditions. Next paragraph. The idea of UCC is rooted in the Indian Constitution. Article 44 of the Directive Principles of State Policy (DPSP) states that the state shall endeavour to secure a uniform civil code for all citizens. However, since DPSPs are not legally enforceable, UCC has remained a subject of discussion rather than implementation. The debate around UCC gained momentum during landmark legal cases such as the Shah Banu case 1985, where the Supreme Court ruled in favor of maintenance rights for a Muslim woman after divorce. This case highlighted the need of a uniform legal system that treats all citizens equally. Next paragraph. One of the biggest arguments in favor of UCC is that it promotes gender equality. Under various personal laws, women often face discrimination in matters of marriage, divorce, and inheritance. For example, some religions allow polygamy while others restrict women's rights to property. A common civil code would ensure equal rights for all citizens, irrespective of gender or religion. It would also help eliminate outdated and unfair practices such as triple talaq, which was recently abolished by the government. Next paragraph. Another important benefit of UCC is that it strengthens national unity by eliminating religious differences in legal matters. A single legal system would ensure that all citizens are treated equally under the law, reducing the chances of religion-based conflicts and discrimination. Additionally, it would simplify the legal system by reducing complexity arising from multiple personal laws. This would make it easier for courts to resolve disputes fairly and efficiently. Next paragraph. Despite these advantages, UCC faced strong opposition from various religious communities who fear that it may interfere with their traditional customs and practices. Many believe that personal laws are an essential part of their religious identity, and any attempt to replace them with a common code may be seen as an attack on their freedom of religion. Critics also argue that India is a culturally diverse country and implementing UCC might be challenging and impractical. Next paragraph. To implement UCC successfully, the government needs to build consensus among different communities, ensuring that reforms are introduced in a gradual and inclusive manner. It should focus on educating people about the benefits of a common civil code while addressing concerns related to religious freedoms. A balanced approach that respects diversity while upholding principles of equality and justice can make UCC a reality. अब आते हैं conclusion पे. In conclusion, the Uniform Civil Code is a step toward a modern and just society where every citizen enjoys equal rights under a single legal system. However, its implementation must be done carefully and inclusively, respecting the cultural and religious sentiments of different communities. With proper dialogue and reforms, India can move toward a legal system that ensures justice, equality and unity for all its citizens. तो इस तरह से 500 वर्ड्स में फर्स्ट टॉपिक पे भी आपका ऐसे कंप्लीट होता है। तो आज मैं आप लोगों के लिए 4 टॉपिक लेके आया था और 4 टॉपिक पे हमने देख लिया कि अगर इस तरह के टॉपिक्स आते हैं आपके एग्जाम में तो हम लोग ऐसे को कैसे फॉर्मेट कर सकते हैं, कौन कौन से पॉइंट उनमें इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं। तो उम्मीद है ये वीडियो आपके लिए हेल्पफुल रहा होगा। तो अगर आपको वीडियो इंफॉर्मेटिव लगा, हेल्पफुल लगा तो वीडियो को लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा और चैनल को जरूर से जरूर सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा। थैंक यू सो मच। जय हिंद।